What is going on, guys? Tuesday night comic news weekly, each and every Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, available on replay, and of course, available to listen wherever your podcasts are found. Just search for Simple Man's Comics on those podcasts. We have a great show lined up. We have a full house as far as panelists. We even have one more on the way, but we are rolling 6 deep tonight. But we have some great topics. We're going to discuss a record auction for Marvel Comics #1. We are discussing Daredevil reboot. We are discussing James Gunn with multiple DC projects in the works. And Penguin House has some sweet Marvel anthology series coming up for pre-order. But before we get into that, let's start bringing these panelists in here. You guys might know him from his brand new own YouTube channel. Make sure you guys check it out. The Amazing with Brian McClay, Mr. Brian McClay.
What's up, brother? Fucking busy, bro.
You've had a great launch of this channel already.
Oh man, it's been great. I appreciate everybody that's come to sub up. We've hit close to, I think we're at 390 subs right now, which getting close to that halfway point. So the sooner we get there, the more stuff is going to open up. I'm going to open up a nice little extra thing for members. I'm going to do the little join the member things and give extra content for those people. So a lot of fun, a lot of interesting stuff going on behind the scenes. So come check it out.
Yeah, it's like you're like Gwen Stefani, right? No longer part of No Doubt. You're just
free agent.
That wasn't the best analogy, but I'm just gonna stop that there and stop right where you are, and we'll bring in the next person. We haven't seen him in a while, but he's always up there on Whatnot and always up there on Instagram. Mr. Blue Green Artifacts himself, Tony Fix It.
What is going on, guys? Actually, if you could finish that Gwen Stefani thing,
I don't even know where I was going with this.
I'd like to hear the end of that. Yeah, no, it's
like Shelton involved. We got an issue.
Yeah, this with kids and family and work and everything. Sometimes this time slot doesn't work so well for me, but it did this week.
Yeah,
so feeling
that's
good.
Why we have this roster that we do, and like I've mentioned before, people in the chat, if you guys want to come on, it's an open panel show, and we're happy to have people on here. One great community, talk about these topics. But to keep rolling on with these panelists, we also have, who do we have? We have the Dank Show, Mr. Dan Kim.
What up, everybody? Good to be here. Yeah, I like to think of the Amazing like the Peacemaker, kind of breaking off of Suicide Squad and being a much better product.
I'm all for that, baby.
Yeah.
I still like the Gwen Stefani one.
And we got Ryan Hayslip joining us momentarily, but we do have El Beardo himself. We do have Ryan. Well, aren't I a monkey's uncle?
Well, it's Matt Ryan.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a cult now.
Jesus.
That's a great. Where'd you get that?
I had to get some representation before he hits all the way. He's gone on forever. Whenever the Falcons played in the Super Bowl, it was here in Houston, and I got invited to be on Good Morning America, and they had this and a bunch of other like stuff, and we hung out with Gronk, and so they let me take this when I left.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm sad it's going to be retired, but it had to happen. So
yeah, let's just get into the first topic. I'm just kidding. We also have the button pusher himself, the producer, El Beardo Hefe. You guys know him as Comic Man Andy from that fabulous Comic Man Andy YouTube channel.
What is good, gentlemen? We are going the distance tonight. I love rolling 6 dudes deep. Let's do this. So, you guys, speaking of the first topic, did you guys hear that UPS and FedEx were going to merge for 2022? They're going to rename it FedUps.
Yeah. But
that's not true. That's not true.
El Beardo, are you still you were doing keto for a while, right? You still doing keto?
Yeah, I got to get back into it after those holidays. Really threw me for a loop. I'm trying to get back into that.
I got a new blender to make like some of those like delicious shakes where you put like spinach and crap in it. But I don't know. I've been using it.
I don't eat crap. Do you?
Oh. I don't know. I mean, I've been using it for 2 weeks and I've got mixed results.
Next time I'm gonna have my drums set up next time for sure. I promise that's what's going on.
Brian's channel just lost 30
Right back there.
subscribers.
And we got people rolling into the chat. I do want to say Cantankerous as always. I also want to say thank you to Cantankerous, not only for the super chats, but he just rejoined that Simple Man's Comics Patreon. So thank you so much for that. And if you want to support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/Simple Man's Comics. Multiple tiers up there. Of course, the top one being that comic book subscription for exclusive variants, at minimum 4 exclusive variants a month. But yes, great topics to discuss tonight. I'm sure you guys are well aware. Marvel Comics #1 just had a huge auction, a 9.4 what they could pay copy, sold at Comic Connect for $2.4 million.
Yeah, crazy.
2.4 million.
Yeah, I'm Ron Burgundy.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
And
That's when I saw the price. Good lord.
I mean, that comic's always in demand, right? And the crazy thing about that pay copy was it has handwritten notes in it, right, of what the artist got paid.
It bears the publisher's notes recording how much writers and artists were paid.
It was like what, $25 for the cover?
25 for the cover, and it's worth nearly 100 times that.
Oof. 100,000 times.
Yeah, 100,000 times. Yeah. Samsonite.
But yeah, I just put the link for it in the chat. Also, what do you guys think of this? Because this is like we're seeing record sales for comics, like between Heritage, between Golden, between Comic Connect. It shows that comic market's thriving. I thought comics would start to see a dip just because of the nature of the economy, inflation, not to get into politics here, but it's just what it is, right? If your money starts getting, your wallet gets smaller, those are usually the first things to go. I understand there's still investments. I understand there's still buying power out there for these. So they're always going to sell. But in general, seeing record prices the way we do and no sign of stopping, it's crazy. And this is Marvel Comics #1, right? This is the one that kind of
started it all.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I think that real quick, the person that bought this economics, like inflation and whatnot, is probably not a huge.
Yeah, they didn't give a name of the buyer, also.
Yeah,
but they did say that they're an investor in comics and a bunch of other things.
But that's that upper echelon of like buyers that I would like to know, so and get just so I could pick their brain about and what kind of how they're grading stuff.
Yeah.
I think it's all about nostalgia, man. I think comic books and toys and the things that we loved when we were kids, they give us that it's like a drug, they give us that what is it, dopamine. They give us that feeling of like everything's okay and there's no problems, and I think that's why it will continue. Like collectibles will continue to do well, but how long, I don't know. That's the question everybody wants to know.
Yeah, and I think where you'll see it, you won't see it in like this type of market because it's always an investment market for it. You'll see it in kind of the lower end where we like to dip our feet in. But
yeah, not to pat myself on the back, but I got to say I've been talking about this book a lot and put it on my Instagram. 3 or 4. Go ahead and look. I put it on my Instagram, so I guess I'd like to get a little bit of credit for this spec pick.
Yeah. And I mean, it's always a sought after book, and it's got Human Torch, but not Human Torch as we know it. And then what do you also have? Submariner in here, right?
Yeah, classic cover.
So definitely. And then it's funny because if you scroll down on that article, they got the 9.4, but then they show the guy holding a 9.2 cover as well.
Well, the interesting thing is we're going to talk about something also later in the show that kind of goes along with this. I think that we're getting to the point where the comics have reached something more than just collectible or something that we read. It's like historical artifacts at this point. You know what I mean? So
this right here is a great article for people that are just getting into comics and you're starting to spend money and your girlfriend or your wife is looking at you like you're freaking nuts, and you just go, look at this book. It sold for $2.4 million. If I buy this Walking Dead Deluxe issue number 34, you never know. It could be just like this too. And then she's like, okay, buy them all. And then you get into comics.
This is
Good
this
luck.
is exactly the kind of article though that like you can pull this up 10 years from now, and we will go, God damn, I wish I had 2.4 to spend back then. When it's at 10, 15, 20. You know, like I remember when Emmitt Smith first signed his $4 million a year contract, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Now what are they making a year? Like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kirk
I
Cousins is
mean-
making like 32 mil next year, right?
And not to mention, it's the pay copy. It's a 9.4 of a book that was printed in what,
Right.
1939?
yeah, I mean, this could be a $30 million book.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're not far from this being a 100-year-old book.
Yeah, I'm extremely skeptical because like the whole market has dipped tremendously, right? Why would you get the record sales? This is not Action Comics issue 1, right? I don't totally get it, and because of all the shenanigans with Heritage Auctions and Wada Games, and Carl Jobst uncovered a lot of BS, and he's made a follow-up video investigating their like shill bidding basically, and these anonymous buyers. Because I wouldn't be surprised if this is part of. I mean, I'm totally making shit up right now. This is all heresy, but I wouldn't be surprised if this copy, Jim Halperin bought it as the anonymous buyer, and he's holding it to sell it again on his site, and we just know this is going on, and we have confirmation from a big YouTuber from another person in the comic book community that knows that Jim Halperin of Heritage Auction does in fact do that stuff, and it just like doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. The market is not like this anymore right now. There has been somewhat of a correction. I don't know why this book is gonna have. I don't know. I'm just very skeptical with these anonymous buyers. I feel like they gotta. I'm just very skeptical.
I mean, the one thing this has going for it is it's the pay copy, right? It's essentially the ledger that he created over time to keep track of who he owed money to or who he was paying money to, and that's where this stands out. But I like that Dank brought up that information that we went over several months ago about that, because that sheds a new light. It kind of makes you wonder a little bit, because he's right. The continuing trend on social media platforms within YouTube and then other avenues is that there is a continuous downward trend when it comes to comic book prices. So what's got this one standing tall?
All I want to know is, Dan, did you get a shipping notification on when this book's supposed to come in for you yet, or not?
Dude, you're not supposed to. Come on.
Are we sure that wasn't?
I got one hell of an unboxing coming on the Dink Show.
Again, I'm so skeptical of these like auctions these days, because of that investigation and no definitive, like, a lot of evidence has been shown, how they do this, and they haven't refuted it enough. And even the New York Times, when they talk about these sales, they are bringing up these things now. Like, a lot of journalists are doing their due diligence a little more, because a YouTuber, which I'm very proud of, is the one that exposed it, with just his own internet research. And he got a lawyer for the second part of the investigation about the Wada Games, Heritage Auctions, BS, and a lawyer to talk about how this is actually fraud. And we need to investigate this. I think this is bullshit.
Dan, did you see recently there was another YouTuber that put out a investigation story about fake Pokemon cards being sold by large retailers? You know what I mean?
Man.
Well,
Coming out of Walmart.
Jake Paul baseball card.
I feel like it's an inevitability, because how it's so easy to do make bootlegs of these.
Yeah.
China is excellent at making bootlegs now, like indistinguishable bootlegs of the finest quality products. I mean, I knew this was coming. Like, it was just a matter of time. But because the spec market is making these like pieces of cardboard just explode in value so much, what is stopping the Chinese from counterfeiting this stuff? I was surprised it didn't happen sooner. Yeah, it's gonna be rough, man. I guess we're gonna have to have more holograms. I don't know how are you gonna stop this, because something's gotta happen, because it's gonna create a collapse.
The one way to stop it is a way that I don't like, and that's digital blockchain, right?
Blockchain is a way. It's a way. Yeah, there's a way to.
We're gonna be collecting digital stuff from now on instead of the real stuff, because we can't tell the real stuff is real. You know what I mean? Like, you literally can't tell the real stuff is real. So now people are going to be collecting blockchain because blockchain is indisputable, right?
Oh no! I thought we
Or-
were.
or-
I
or
thought we were
prices
against
just go up
NFTs.
more.
We are. That's the problem. That's the scary thing. I think NFTs are a complete joke, but the scary part is the part about NFTs that is so intriguing is the blockchain part, right?
Yeah, yeah, of course. Yes, this is another plus for the NFT people. So the VV people, what is it called? VV?
Yeah.
The
Well, they
VV?
need it because that market has died.
Yeah, it died.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh,
So they're probably like, yeah. I
Yeah.
hope that counterfeit news is good for them.
yeah, it's a weird thing, man. Dominoes fall all the time like that. We don't know why.
Keep it in the Marvel family. Dan, we got some more news, right? Some MCU.
Yes. According to comicbook.com, there seems to be a lot of evidence that a Daredevil series is being pushed into development. According to them, earlier this month, a team of Murphy's Multiverse unveiled evidence of a new business entity that could be serving as the production company behind Marvel Studios' Daredevil reboot. And of course, this company is called Blind Faith Productions, which is very, does sound very much like a Daredevil project. Yeah, and they're just hoping it comes out. But nothing is confirmed yet. This is all speculation and rumor, but it's probably pretty solid speculation and rumor considering
Yeah,
all
I mean,
the.
when you get Kingpin showing up, and
Yeah.
then you get Matt Murdock in No Way Home.
And then the question is like, how dark is it gonna be? Is it gonna be, because now Disney Plus is showing the old series, right?
Oh yeah,
And a lot of the
like,
Disney
yeah.
parents were super upset about that. The super violent content on Disney Plus because they use Disney as a sort of a,
Babysitter.
babysitter. Yeah, babysitter. A babysitter they can rely on to give just like corporate nonsense to their children that won't harm give them, make them feel safe, no matter what or whatever. But I don't know. I'm curious. I mean, to be honest, I would like a better Daredevil costume. I said it.
I'd like to even see the yellow costume.
Yeah.
Well, that would be cool.
Remember when they announced that Echo was coming? We were going to get an Echo series, and a lot
Yeah.
of us were talking like that feels like it's going to be the Hell's Kitchen series. That's what I really thought was going to happen. So, are they saying that it's for sure separate? Like they are going to be doing a Daredevil and an Echo series, or
I don't think it's saying that. I think they're just saying that.
Daredevil might be. Echo is supposedly confirmed.
yeah, I
Are
could
you
totally
asking?
see.
Are you asking if the reboot would be in the MCU proper?
Yes, that's what I mean. Like,
Right.
Oh,
I think so.
yeah.
I mean, that would
I
even
think
if they
once-
don't do crossover with other characters right away, it would at least open that up in the future.
it's stupid not to. It's perfect.
Frank Castle.
Yeah, all of them, all of them, except for Iron Fist, because we know Iron Fist is now going to be Swordmaster.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited for it. I was excited when you saw Matt Murdock show up in No Way Home, and then we catches the brick, and he's like, "How did you do? I'm a good lawyer." And I
Yeah,
like
that was fun.
Kingpin. I want to see more of the. I want to see more of the Kevin Smith Daredevil story.
I want to see any Daredevil story that with that same team of people. The
Yeah.
girl that played Elektra was perfect. Charlie Cox is perfect. Everybody in that was perfect. The chick that played
True
what's
Blood,
her name? Yeah,
Deborah Ann
she's
Woll or whatever.
yeah, she's perfect. Guy that played Stick was perfect. Like to me, I thought Daredevil was amazing. I loved every part of Daredevil. There
It was
wasn't a
definitely
bad
the
part.
Iron Man of the Netflix
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah, I want to see a really stylistic director or showrunner though, not just do a canned, just like the rest of the Disney Plus shows. I mean, he's had so many great creators in the comics take over a story and just blow everything away compared to the rest of the
You like a Michael Mann
comic book realm.
heat style Daredevil.
Yeah, I mean, you could do a different theme, kind of a different style for each season.
Not Michael Bay though.
Like an anthology.
Not Robert
Marvel
Rodriguez.
Knights every season. It's like a new thing.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, I'm open. I think that's a great idea. If they called it Marvel Knights and they just had certain actors come in when they needed them, it didn't have to be all about Daredevil. They tell a new.
Yeah.
It's just like added on to the story, and every once in a while you'll see Daredevil pop up with Spider-Man or something.
Maybe a little
Double O makes a great point though. As much as I like the yellow costume,
Yeah.
big piece of cheese running around the street at night.
Call him Safety Devil, not Daredevil.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That you make a great point. Maybe we get a little Frankencastle in there too. Marvel Knights. Oh no, that was after Knights. Never mind.
But yeah, we want to see Spider-Man and Daredevil, like mingling, and I mean, we've been dying to see that, right? Like they always team up because they're kind of street level.
They could do all kinds of stuff with a Marvel Knights series, man. They could tell so many good storylines. We'll see what happens. I think that we'll eventually get something like that.
Well, you definitely have Ryan intrigued over there. Look at that eyebrow.
I want to see what you're thinking.
That next level eyebrow. Yeah, let's go.
Is it maybe they'll do a Daredevil Venom crossover?
Hell yeah. I'm in his head. There you go.
I just don't want, as long as whatever story they do, I just don't want to see Daredevil in jail. Please, no more Daredevil.
I tried to. I was watching a series. I started watching it before I knew much about it, and I was watching it with my wife, and we just kept looking at each other about how violent it was. And I was like, "Golly!" So I had to like. It's like, okay, let me go. We'll watch this. I'll watch this like on my own because it's a really violent show, and I was just like, so I haven't got a chance to actually watch the series yet. I want to, but the same thing with like The Boys. When we started that, the very first few minutes of it, I was like, our mouths dropped. Like, what the heck is this? Yeah. And I mean, she doesn't watch. We don't watch a whole lot of really, really violent content. But and if it is, then I'll usually watch it by myself. So I just can't believe how violent it was. But I want to go back and check it out. That and The Punisher.
Yeah, Chris Greaves, the comment you just put up, that's a good comment. The only part I would disagree with that is, was it the first season was like episode 3, the hallway fight?
Yeah,
I won't say one long cut because you could see it, but it's basically almost edited to look like one long cut where
they did one of those
as a kid and just fighting and pops back
Honestly,
out.
That was one of the best fight sequences I think that I've ever seen on regular
You can just
TV.
see how exhausted he is.
Do you guys know where that scene comes from?
From Old Boy?
Old Boy?
Yeah. I think it's funny how we all call it like the Daredevil scene, but it comes from Old Boy.
Yeah.
But he goes up and down flights of stairs, right?
Yeah, but you remember in every season they do one of those type of scenes.
Right. Have you guys ever seen Ong Bak and Tam Yong-gong, the Tony Jaa films?
Mm-mm.
Well, he does like a multi-staircase oneer. It's the most epic thing you've ever seen. And you see he's exhausted by it because it's real. It's real. Anyway. Yeah, Old Boy set a new standard of
even part
beautiful oneers.
Tankers is saying the same thing.
Even though Spielberg doesn't get credit for his oneers, because he's been doing oneers since Jaws. It's just
really,
but they're so seamless that you don't notice it's a oneer because he's.
I remember the first time I ever heard about that. It was an Alfred Hitchcock film called Rope. Have you ever seen Rope?
Yeah.
And they use that as one of the sell points. Like, there's one scene is like more than half the movie or something like that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to half that stuff until I needed an elective and took speech and drama in high school, and then it points you on to now you're like pointing out like how they're scoring scenes and shit, which you normally wouldn't even pay attention to. But
hey, does this mean that because Brian is wearing yellow, ipso facto, he's the next Daredevil? So everybody should subscribe to his channel now before it's too late. And there's the link in the chat tonight.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
That was a stretch, but I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, way to wrap it all together.
The amazing with Brian McClay Daredevil.
Well, real quick, tomorrow night we do have our first show, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you guys come check it out, and I'll talk more about that for my one more thing.
Mm.
But Alberto,
ooh,
we got you hooked on Peacemaker after we talked to you like until we're blue in the face over it. And it was awesome, but there's more James Gunn news, right?
There is actually. This is pretty exciting because here we go. Let's go. James Gunn teases he's working on multiple DC projects outside of Peacemaker. And this is pretty interesting because he recently shared that he might be developing 2 more projects for DC in addition to Peacemaker Season 2. Between what James Gunn has done with the Suicide Squad and Peacemaker and what Matt Reeves has accomplished with the Batman, DC is on a roll as of late. The 2 filmmakers are also sticking around as well. So I'm actually very interested in hearing what you guys have to say or what you guys think he might be working on, because the more I go down this rabbit hole, the more I try to think of what it could be, I just can't get a lock on what it could be. These other
Wonder
2
Twins.
projects.
Yeah.
Wonder
I hope
Twins.
it's Wonder Twins, and that's why I think I love this article because I love James Gunn, especially in DC Universe. But this article sucks because it's basically a tweet that's turned into an article that's just like, yeah, he's working on 2 more projects. That's what he said.
Right.
Yeah, there's not a lot of meat and potatoes here besides the fact that it's 2 additional projects.
Yeah, so that's why we're here to talk about it and hypothesize.
I think it's awesome. I think James, the untapped gold of DC has always been all those other characters. All we've been getting are Batman, Superman, and then finally Wonder Woman and Aquaman. But those aren't the DC characters that have interested me. Like, I've always been more interested in like the Metal Men or the Outsiders or Booster Gold, or like they have some wacky, cool, awesome characters, and that's exactly what he excels in, is taking. It doesn't matter if they're famous or not. If they've got something, if they've got a cool story to tell, he figures out a way to get it on the screen. I'd love to see him do Metal Men.
Wasn't Sandman or not Sandman?
Doom Patrol.
Yeah, there's a.
Well, one of the things that I think that's very interesting is, if you remember in '89 when the Batman movie came out, like that pushed a lot of us to go read Batman comics, right? Mm-hmm. And I think that if we see like that type of thing happen with the Batman, where it pushes a bunch of new people to Batman comics, that Zdarsky run takes off and people start reading DC, like we could have a turn of events where DC just starts to really take off. Yeah.
It's like the Steranko for DCEU there, right? Remember when Steranko, they're like, just give him this crack comic, and he starts writing and stuff, and the comic starts. He's doing that to the DCEU. He's the Favreau of DCEU.
Yep.
Sandman. Yeah, this Sandman. Isn't Sandman like a horror verse DC
Kind of, yeah.
Oh, you talking about Vertigo?
No, the original Sandman. Are you talking about the Vertical or the original Sandman?
The original Sandman, I believe it is. Like
yeah, that's Neil Gaiman. Yeah.
And they're making that show.
Yeah, for Netflix, right?
Should be out soon, right? Starman would be great. Holy
Starman,
cow!
Yeah.
Starman.
Or Deadman.
Animal Man.
Ooh, Deadman would be good. Animal
Spectre,
Man. So much room for activities.
Yeah.
I mean,
a lot of good stuff.
I'm telling you, and there's no better person to do it with than James Gunn. He makes people like characters that people aren't familiar with.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he even made like the racist guy, White Dragon character, quite likable. You know what I mean? Like I think DC's been allowing their auteurs to really go nuts and not like controlling them heavily as Marvel does.
They got out of their own way finally.
They're what?
What?
They're what?
Auteurs?
Auteurs. Oh, like letting their, very unique creators do their own thing without any restrictions. Yeah, and like and he's able to he creates worlds where it's not telling you how to think. So I think like Marvel films try to tell you the theme at the end or whatever. I feel like James Gunn, at least with Peacemaker, because Peacemaker's really when he got to let loose, and he already said after Guardians 3 he's not going to make films anymore, superhero films. He's going to only do TV. And when he lets loose, he creates these worlds where everyone has different worldviews, and they're all as valid as each other, and no one's right and no one's wrong, and you get to see like liberals and conservatives together
You
in
get
a
lot
way
of
that's
duality there.
funny and witty, and that's like what I need more of in television anyway. So I can't wait to see what he does. And yeah, I've been saying for months, because Marvel is just too stuck in their editorial. Disney
just gonna
is
get in the way
effing
of
up Marvel. And what was their last film really? Eternals. It wasn't Spider-Man. Spider-Man doesn't count because that's a Sony, Abbott and Costello mashup movie, style mashup movie. Eternals was their last film, right? And it was
Stomp.
pretty bad. And even Chloe Zhao last week, she was quoted in Empire magazine saying, "Oh, when you try to merge things that are two different ways, it makes people uncomfortable." Like she was kind of blaming the audience for not liking Eternals, and it was like such a condescending, pretentious state. I was like, "Oh man, why are you even saying like, who blames the audience? The guy that made Gods of Egypt, and like who blames the audience for your film's failure? Like not a lot of directors do that."
What's her name? Who also from the Charlie's Angels reboot? She was in all the Seth Rogen movies too, right?
Yeah.
She was the same way.
And
Yeah.
the Moonfall movie too. That guy, he also blamed. Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, again, yeah, in the show, it just showed like, like you can have a lesbian talking to a guy that's kind of sexist, and instead of just like hating each other right away, they go back and forth, like that's what I tend to do. If I deal with like assholes, I give them back exactly what they give me. And then there's like this mutual respect because like you know how to dish it, and you know what I mean. Like
Well,
that.
no, you're being 100% real, because the reality for a lot of people out there is that they're not coming from a world of hate. They're coming from a world of misunderstanding and confusion. When your opinions don't align with mine, I don't understand them. I might be confused, and some people's first reaction to that is to kind of nitpick. And that banter back and forth makes for really good TV shows, and you're dead nuts on. I think Gunn's going to be way better at TV streaming series than he is in movies, in my opinion. Like James Gunn movies are good, but I think this is his next echelon where he's just going to get better and better.
Yeah.
And
I mean, he showed us the first vagina in a DC property. I mean, he had one of the greatest callback jokes ever with a dye beard. I couldn't believe that callback. It was so epic. That was one of the greatest callbacks ever. I mean, it reminded me of Austin Powers, like with some excellent callbacks. Oh, I just couldn't believe that callback.
I'm kind of
That's why comedy is so important. Comedy is to be protected at all costs, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Like, comedy is how we get through rough times. It's how we deal with stuff. It's how we make people feel human and be human. Like, comedy has to be protected at all costs, in my opinion.
Smashing hero, right? Yeah, I'm not getting. I mean, we can talk about Eternals. Everyone has the similar opinion. Except for James Gunn, and I'm excited to see as we get more news. We do know that Harcourt is going to be in some of these others. They already said that Harcourt is going to be in other DC properties.
Well, yeah, if your girlfriend is, if it's your girlfriend, that's his girlfriend,
Yeah, it's like, it's like, what's his name with Bonham Carter?
Tim Burton.
Yep.
I do agree with Brian, like with the comedy thing or the humor, especially what's added to movies. But the one thing is that I do think they still need to keep some movies with no comedy in it. Like, it seems like Marvel, for whatever reason, has been found like, if you take Thor, for instance, the first couple of Thor movies were so dry and so drab, it was like really like there was no fluctuation in the comedy or anything else. Like they had the comedy and it really took off. And then they're like, oh, that was the secret ingredient. So then they start putting into other stuff. And it was almost like they injected it like Venom. They destroyed Venom because they added too much comedy into it.
Venom destroyed Venom. It's just a shit character.
Oh, that's what the lowly mind thinks. But it's like comedy needs to be done, but it needs to be done right, and it needs to be done at the right amount. It's such a fine line. If you overdo it, man, it just messes up the whole.
Well, Gunn is so good at not taking himself seriously and then taking himself seriously when he needs to. He's so good at balancing those, and it's just quite. I just loved Peacemaker. I thought it was
I mean, Guardians of the
The
Galaxy,
tits.
it was amazing. I mean, that was like, I mean, that's like that was a movie for like the whole family, but then everyone can thoroughly enjoy every part of it. You know?
We had
Yeah.
deal, bro.
I think he's a great director, but I really think it comes down to his writing.
Yes.
I mean,
he wrote
to be
it
as
a lot.
creative and as brave and as cohesive, and he hits the notes that he's supposed to hit, but he surprises you, and he's able to take these random freaking characters and make you tear up and cry. He's just an excellent writer.
He's like the modern day what's his name? Howard director.
And he did all of Secret Invasion. And he did it in a way that's funny and satirical, and Marvel's gonna take it way too seriously, and it's gonna last way too long, and it's gonna be a.
Yeah.
He just
gonna
did
end
the
up
whole.
being
He
like
did it
V.
like real quick.
I wonder what he's gonna do with Rocket.
Yeah. Well, supposedly,
This is the last movie with
Yeah.
that team.
yeah. Supposedly, the rumors are we could see.
Drax is dead. He's going
Rocket's
to
not going to even be in
Oh,
it.
time to sell those specs.
It won't be the
Why
same.
kill off characters? You should never kill off characters.
It's comics. They're like freaking Greyjoys, man. What's dead
Well-
may never die.
Well, Rocket should be easy, but you could probably find somebody to do the voice because the actor quit. But
I mean, he might
Yeah.
just like taking like Picard at the going at the vineyard. You know what I mean? He might do that with Rocket. Maybe he finds a world where they're all Rocket like animals, so he can be like not feel like a freak anymore. Something like that.
Like when we thought Spock was dead, but he really wasn't, so they saved the whales.
Until 10 years later when they reboot it, and then
I bet they keep Rocket. He could stick around on Earth, and they could have there's enough characters to make a new team and a new movie with, save a few characters here and there.
It just kind of like find a voice actor.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like what's his name, anyways.
Well, that's the good thing about CG created materials. Like you can always find a voice actor.
Yeah.
That's why Star Wars is always known like creating these characters that have masks and stuff because you don't have to pay an actor for them.
Right, but that's how I felt too. But some people are like, "Oh, well, so and so Bradley's not doing it anymore, so that's the end of Rocket." I'm like, but you never even saw dude's face. But it seemed like everyone was like, "Oh, that was poo-pooed on the rest of his life." Or whatever.
yeah, I don't know how Groot will go on without Vin Diesel. I want to see a buddy space cop movie with Howard the Duck and Rocket. Have
That
them
would be
together
good.
as a duo.
Yeah.
Space copping all over.
That'd be
The spec play will be figuring out who the next lineup will be when they reboot. Vance Astro and Cosmo and
I feel like Angela is a big
Angela
possibility.
Agent Venom.
Yeah.
Agent Venom I think is a huge possibility. I think that's where that little leftover symbiote thing is. And I think that they have Thompson. They already have him in there, and he's kind of been playing in the background. And I think they're going to do it's going to be shocking. I think what they're going to do with that character.
I think Disney will have to buy Sony to integrate that much, though.
Captain Marvel's coming, right?
I don't think you're gonna see as many acquisitions under Chapek as you saw under Iger.
Well, I think that whenever they made those deals back with Spider-Man and whatnot, they probably thought, okay, we're gonna do something like this, but we have to let us do something with something, and maybe they made something like, okay, you can have Agent Venom do what you want with that one. We get every other iteration of Venom stuff, whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Well.
But I think Agent Venom is a huge man. That could be so.
Yeah, great story.
Oh,
Great
totally. And patriotism and all that stuff that goes with it. I mean, it'll be real good.
Yeah, they really set it up with the talk, the extra scene with Venom explaining, that they're out there. Yeah, the hive mind and all that stuff, and the planet.
It'd be fun to see Dave or James Gunn take a crack at a Star Wars show.
Tag and Bink.
Nailed
I
it.
don't think that Disney would let him. I don't think he would want to work with Disney under their strict controls.
Yeah.
I feel like DC and Warner Brothers is giving him such a type of freedom that and you could tell, you could see it
I think he
again.
still garners some resentment over that whole being canceled crap.
Yeah, hell yeah, he does. He should. You should. That's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I mean, he came back. He signed another deal. I think his money is money. Control is control. He's Marvel. I mean, DC's great, and I love what they're doing lately. But Marvel is the biggest entertainment, product producer.
Well,
We'll
that
see.
that being said about Marvel, did you see that Penguin had signed up to do some classic anthologies for them? The old
Yeah, they're like,
school.
we got a license to print. Let's print.
Yeah, let's do it, baby. This reminds me of being a kid and my grandma and we all had our grandmas or somebody in our family who bought us that first set of like those classics, and they all had the gold papers in between, and they looked good on a shelf. And when I was talking earlier about Marvel and comic books becoming part of history, this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, this is going to be up there with all those classics, those
Like the
Penguin
Millennium
classics.
editions and stuff.
Yeah, throughout the years, from Odyssey to Time Machine, all that stuff. Now we're going to have Spider-Man, Black Panther, Captain America to add to that list, which is very interesting. And man, this is what I'm talking about history. So
I like the higher priced one covers, the covers on the right.
So do
Right.
I. Yep.
But part of me is like, hey, I kind of want to pre-order these just because I like having those books. I like collecting omnibus. But then there's also part of me that's like, hey, I might be able to hold out on this and get these for a lot cheaper at Ollie's.
Well, you remember years ago, before there was all the absolute editions and the omnibuses, each company was doing their own like trades where they would create trades from old product, and they were super collectible and super expensive, and people would create these master sets of them. I forget what they were called on the Marvel side. Timeless. I don't know if they were timeless classics or if they were I forget exactly what they were, like museum editions or something like that. Yeah, people would collect the hell out of them and spend a lot of money to do it, to create the master list of all of these great comics throughout time. Well, here's another thing to sink some money into. So have fun.
I love the format too. I love books. I used to be a teacher and love having everything, just shelves of stuff to read. But dust jackets are a pain in the ass. They always have been. If you care about books, like as a collector, you don't know what do you read it with the dust jacket on? Do you hide the dust jacket in a special place where it doesn't get bent up while you're reading the book and then put it back on later? I think this kind of prestige, I don't know, what do you call it, non-dust jacket, they've been around for a while, but I think Image really perfected the deluxe format in the last 10 years. They've come out with some great prestige format books, and now some of the other publishers, Boom is starting to do it. It's good to see Marvel pick it up too.
Yeah.
To me, this is actually the dark twist ending of the Penguin distribution deal. Actually, because then why did they ship out books so terribly? Why does Penguin distribution suck garbage? What was the point? What was going on? This was going on. This is what it was about, actually. I think this is the truth behind the Penguin distribution deal, is that Penguin wanted to just have the full publishing rights to Marvel and slowly but surely trickle it out for the mainstream public, because they don't give a F about us, and that's why they've been shipping out books like trash to the backbone of the industry, the collectors that go to LCSs. And this is another, this to me is what it was. This is this was the end game,
planted and watered right here.
yeah, and that's why we got screwed. That's why we're getting screwed. It was for this shit.
That's
Well,
because they're more of a book publisher than a comic book publisher, right?
Yep.
Then this is more their
Right, but I think it was some sort of big, all-encompassing deal, and this was the real score. This was the truth behind it. On
top
heresy.
of it, they had the rights to Penguin or DC distribution. Now they're giving Marvel a little extra cash in their pocket to be like, let's do it all over here, baby. Let's do all the comic distribution.
Are you guys going to pre-order any of these, or are you going to pass?
I'm gonna
pass. I'm gonna pass.
They're not
If I
limited,
had-
right? They're not
Yeah.
limited.
If I
Why?
had- If I had the really cool like shelves and that type of thing, and I had some extra money to spend on this type of stuff, I might get it. But like, to be honest, and I hate to say this, everything's digital. Like the digital thing is just too strong.
This is the type of stuff where I'm like, I'm gonna pass. But if my kids or someone for Father's Day or one of those type gifts, it's something I'd like to have. Or like I said, when you go to Ollie's down in months down the road, and you can pick this up for $9-12.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm with Brian and Brian, both Brian and Brian, where there's a digital aspect here to think of and consider. But as much as I've got a 5-year-old who's starting to learn how to read, I think this would be great. But I'm honestly in the bandwagon of wait for it to hit Ollie's for 2-3, however much percentage off that you're going to be able to get. Because let's not forget, I've had a parent pass away that collected books. That's not a fun thing to deal with, and I don't want to leave that burden on my family. With in addition to the plethora of short boxes of books I have down here in comic books, to add this on top of that pile, these are going to end up in a garage sale where nobody knows about them. They're going to end up somewhere where a family member doesn't want to keep them. They're going to give them away, or they're going to give them to somebody else, and that brings joy to somebody else too. But man, I don't want to spend $60, $70, $80, $90, $100 for these to sit on the shelf waiting for that rainy day for me to read them and then end up in a garage sale when I pass away. As terrible as that might sound, I'm going to do what Brian said, and I'm going to look for my Ollie's for this kind of deep discounted prices down the line.
Do you guys like reading this format?
Yeah, is it smaller? I feel like they're smaller. They look smaller.
That's a great question. Let's take a look.
I'm not really excited about shrunken comic pages.
I would think they would be at least.
Each book will feature forewords and scholarly introductions that will provide insights into the enduring significance of these comic book heroes. So
I think they got to be at least comic size.
I bet you they're not. I mean, because that heart, I don't know. I'm a skeptic.
If you shrunk it down to, you couldn't even read any of the.
They already do it. Marvel's already been.
Yeah. The ones on the left are paperback. The ones on the right are obviously hardcover. So there you
have
go.
to look at it on the actual Amazon listing. Let me see.
Yeah.
Each book comes with a little gun that once you get it, you shoot it, and it makes it bigger for you.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
There are certain series
for that.
There are certain series where this kind of prestige format hardcover is my preferred way of reading it. Just because I don't love reading all the floppies, just because I'm so worried about the condition. I don't love reading them in the individual graphic novels because it's only like 4 issues a piece. I'd rather wait till they get to, like Image does, wait till they get to issue 25. They come out with a nice, big, high quality hardcover where the no dust jacket is not going to get damaged, and you can sit down and read the whole thing.
You don't read digital?
Yeah. So they're like much. Comic size, 8x1 by 11 almost.
They're decent size.
8x1.
Marvel always uses the code to read it digitally. In fact, I won't read a book until the code works.
That's smart.
I read digitally overseas for when I was overseas, but since I got back, I love to get back into real pages.
Yeah. I mean, I'm most excited about James Gunn DC projects, but with that being said, new comic book day tomorrow. What are you guys picking up? It's not as heavy a week for me this week. McClay, what are you picking up tomorrow?
It's amazing. The week, the last week was it the week before? There was a couple weeks ago where we just had everything was great. But for me, what am I picking up? What do I like? There's a couple things I like. I like this detective. Look at this. I like this detective. I like all the covers in this for some reason. I like that cover.
It's cool.
Yeah, and then I like this cover right here. This is Lee Bermejo. Who doesn't like Lee Bermejo? I think that's a great cover. And and hopefully with the heat of it is the finale to a storyline, but hopefully with the heat of the movie, we start to see some more Batman sales and other stuff like that. But I definitely like this Department of Truth issue right here. I love that cover. I'm a huge space fan, history of space, and I used to work in that industry and just love everything about it, including the conspiracies. And this is an excellent cover for me. So I like that a lot. But there's a new book that looks interesting.
I was looking at that. That's a good one.
Frankenrocker and the Jailbait Punks #1. Looks pretty interesting. Bad Kids Press. It says Frankenstein's Monsters forms a punk rock band with female teen musicians, and they go to outer space to fight an army of reptilians. It's like Galaxy Quest mashed up with the Sex Pistols by way of Saturday morning cartoons. So that's just kind of out there, interesting stuff for me. You know what I mean? So
It's like that outlier you pick up, and then could be good, but then sometimes just
yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. It's very interesting. I do like that Department of Truth though. Here's the cover B for it, which is also very interesting. The whole "Did we land on the moon" thing is fascinating to me.
That's dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like space too much.
Yeah. Working in the industry, one thing that I did is so I worked in space and defense for 15 years, and we used to have astronauts come to the plant all the time, and they would just hire them to hang out basically, and if we had big huge meetings, they would bring them up. But anytime that the astronauts would be around, they would love to come down to the engineering lab, which is what I ran. And first thing I would ask them is, every single time when I was alone with them, I'd be like, so did you ever see anything weird out there? And about half of them would say yeah, a lot while they were doing a lot of them were test pilots. So but anyway, so I love that stuff, so I'm looking forward to seeing this. We'll see what happens.
I love space ice cream. I do. I'm so pissed too. They stopped making just like the plain ice cream, and now you have to get it with the sandwich style.
Yeah, Dippin' Dots, right?
Yeah, it's like they
freeze dried.
Yeah, freeze dried
ice cream sandwiches.
Yeah,
you have to have it with a cookie or whatever. I like just
that used to be the thing to get at Air and Space Museum at Smithsonian as a kid.
Yeah,
you can get stuff like that REI, I think, now still.
I lived like 15 minutes from NASA, so.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Too bad it's not what it used to be.
Yeah, it's crazy. From when I was a kid to now, it's wild.
Yeah.
I just went there. Actually, I took my kid there about a month ago.
Nice.
And years. It's pretty lame right now.
Well, this is interesting. Yeah, El Beardo.
Ooh,
your book is back, baby.
Yeah. Saga is definitely back. Definitely excited. This is a heartbreaking picture for those of you that have read Saga, that have been following the series. This is a bit of a heartbreaker, kind of a cover. I don't want to spoil the story, but we're all excited for it to be back every month.
Is that a booger? Cool. Is that a booger on his hook?
It's probably a giant booger. It's speaking of snot, I'm covered in it right now. But yeah, so Saga's gonna be the first thing I read tomorrow. But there's actually 2 books that aren't being let me rephrase that, 2 covers that aren't being talked about much in the community right now, that I'm wondering what your guys' feelings are on these. If you pull up Darth Vader 21 right there, that Sprouse variant should be, if I remember correctly, that should be the first cover appearance of Moff Gideon, and not a lot of people are talking about this.
Because he's not that cool of a character.
Yeah, but I mean, you talk about any first in Star Wars seem to catch some sort of hype lately, it seems like. He might not be the coolest character, but it just seems like there's a fan base for everything Star Wars right now. And I don't feel like this book was talked about much, and I just feel like probably underprinted, a little underappreciated. I buy everything Star Wars now just because that's where I'm at.
It's like everything was all Thanos a couple years ago. Where's that shit now?
Yeah.
Well, hey. I mean, you're right. Like Mandalorian, right, is coming out, so we know that Moff Gideon will appear officially, like have a first appearance. So this book might, be pretty valuable.
That's the dots I'm kind of connected. And it could not see a huge value. Either way, but yeah, Dank
First
kinda-
Dark Saber cover.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Well, wasn't the Dark Saber on a mall book?
I
Or no,
think
it
it was
was
on-
on.
It
It was
appeared
on
in
the.
one, but
It was on
was
that
it on
one that Topher talks about too.
Yeah, but then if you go back and scroll down a little bit to Dr. Aphra, here's another book not a lot of people have talked about. Dr. Aphra, what issue is out this week?
19,
19. If you scroll down one more,
I think.
oh, I lost
Wait,
it.
19?
Yeah,
Where is
where's
it?
Dr. Aphra go?
Why do they make this so tough every week?
There it is, right there in the middle. If you
Ooh,
click on that, the Sprouse variant from this,
that's
not
an
a bad
interesting cover right there.
It's not bad at all either, but the Sprouse variant for this is the first cover appearance of Bo-Katan.
Oh,
I like
really?
that better than the Moff Gideon one by
And
far.
this really jives with the Anakin Ahsoka Sprouse variant from War of the Bounty Hunters 5, I think. It's got that nice purple background, and I'm wondering if they're kind of making a series of purple-esque backgrounds with some of these characters that you might see kind of some niche collectors getting into. But those are covers that I've only seen one, maybe two people post about it on Instagram over the last month or so, and not a lot of people are talking about it right now, but they're out tomorrow, and yeah. I
Not
like
to
that one
mention,
too.
people like to collect sets of shit.
Yeah. Those are the three that I have them on my pull list, actually. I've got the email, and I'm really excited to get those in my hands tomorrow.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Tony.
Andy stole mine, so I don't know. No. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of a light week. I have been chasing some of those Sprouse variants. He's done quite a few of them, but like Andy was saying, the few that have featured characters from other shows, they've had some featuring the Rebels, the animated characters, the characters that have shown up in either Mandalorian or Boba Fett. We saw one with Mandalorian and the Child last month, right?
Stop it, Brian.
So those are interesting. A couple series that have been out for a long time that I don't know. For some reason, I'm kind of getting drawn into wanting to catch up with them again. It'd be Philadelphia, which is I think on 20.
Yeah.
There's always some really cool covers for that. But that has had some longevity.
Ooh, look at that.
And there's an Eric Larson variant for that one too.
Oh.
And then Monstrous. I don't know. Something about Monstrous.
I was about to ask it.
They're on 38.
Yeah, I haven't been reading Monstrous in a while.
Yeah, a lot of people haven't been.
And it wasn't that it wasn't good. It was just
it took a break for a while, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
But I think both of those are kind of percolating. Obviously they've got a big following to be around at this point. Having a run of 20, 30 issues in today's market is saying something.
Yeah, for sure.
damn. What do you got?
Well, actually,
I know we sit eye to eye, so I'm waiting.
well, I'm gonna say Ghost Cage issue 1.
Well, there it is.
That was
It
one
just
for me.
looks so good, and there was a chat tip about you can make this alphabetical. The list.
Where is it?
Go up. Left.
Right there.
This looks good.
Nick Dragotta, man.
Oh wow, that does
Yeah.
look
West.
interesting.
It looks great. It just reminding me of like Joe Mad and Battle Chasers, and it feels like a really fun mishmash of stuff. It's just iconic. It's like instantly iconic. Hopefully the story's good.
It's like if it was Mark Millar, but good.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, also we have Demons. I'm looking forward to that one. I think Scott Snyder. Well, I think it's a good spec kind of too, because he's getting all his properties made. I feel like it's a solid spec.
Yeah, because you got Snyder, Capullo, and then we always have those.
Glapion.
There's also a Jock cover.
And
Oh,
it's an
wow.
interesting premise.
Wow, it looks really good.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I think
Three
Snyder
books,
is
and
a
that was two of
person
them.
the spec in general.
Brian's obviously he's like stuck.
There's a
on it.
Especially
Momoko.
creator-owned stuff.
I don't care about the Momoko.
Ooh,
I like
that's
the
terrible.
Capullo cover.
Wait, is she supposed to be an amputee?
I think so.
Okay.
I like the
Well, you
Capullo.
gotta ask with Momoko art because some of the Momoko art is just
Maybe
kind of
not.
abstract.
What's going on here? She's got her hands here.
Is that a hand on the right there, or is that like a?
Oh, hold on. We got to look and see what this is. With a newfound partner, awesome powers at her disposal, our hero suddenly finds herself thrust in a climactic war of good and evil with no less than the
It's like
fate of the world.
supernatural.
Why does she not have a hand on this?
Had to move on to the next cover.
But
Deadlines. Deadlines.
I mean,
Deadline.
Noctera, you know, it had a lot more buzz, and I feel like this has less buzz. And if there's
This is
it's
Dark
not as
Horse.
ordered as much, then it's better spec, right? I mean, because there's so many copies of Noctera.
was-
And then finally, Cassidy's Secret issue 3. No one's talking about this book. No one's read this book, but it's basically about a lawyer in a superhero world, and this is like their Superman is murdered, and it's like all this conspiracy and stuff. But it's a lot. It's a courtroom drama sort of. It reminds me of early Brian Michael Bendis. I really liked the previous issues, so I'm gonna continue reading Cassidy's Secret. There's no
I can't
cover.
find
There's
it.
no cover.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can
Bummer.
we go back to Ghost Cage real quick?
Mm-hmm.
This is an image number 1 dropping, and are there no variants for this?
No variants that I saw.
Really?
Image
That's-
doesn't really
that's-
like to do variants anymore, man.
I feel like every week I go into the shop, it's always Image is chock full of variants with all their number 1s, at least with the number 1s.
And I think
I think
like
they
you
leave,
said,
leave it up to
missing
the
that-
creator, don't they?
Yeah, Nick Dragotta is like badass.
Yeah.
Where does it say I sort? I can
The right,
sort
probably up in the top right.
right here.
One more over.
Where'd it go?
Nope.
Browse by format, other refinements,
Other
only number
sorting.
1s, most pooled. Maybe right
about-
by this.
Issue sorting
There we go. Where does it say issue sorting?
down towards the bottom.
Geez, we're terrible, you guys. I'm
Well,
terrible.
it's just me. I only have one book left because I had Ghost Cage and we have
There
Demons.
you go.
Mm.
Thank you.
But-
You just made my life so much better. All right, which one?
Go back to that the Elektra Black, White, and Blood.
Okay.
The Greg Smallwood cover on that.
Yes.
Freaking gorgeous.
I think long term, those are good. Like, there are people picking up the Black, White, Blood covers.
God, that is dope.
So that one, and then I had Ghost Cage. We have Demons was also my pick of the week between Snyder, Capullo, and of course there's Jock in there, but followed by Ghost Cage, and then this one for a cover. And there's the second hardcover for Zdarsky's Daredevil,
Interesting.
Volume 2, which I'm excited to see because that way hopefully we get closer to a Zdarsky Daredevil omnibus, which is what I'm looking forward to.
And we got Batman coming up soon, right?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Let's
Brian,
see. Me?
where you getting?
Ryan.
Who, me? I don't think there's anything coming out this week that I'm going to be getting.
Cantankerous picked for you.
Yeah, I think he did. Cantankerous knows what's up.
Yeah.
LP. Need to Protect. I'm really excited about that. I'm hoping that it's going to be a good story. I got some really cool covers.
I'm trying to get there.
Artists. Huh?
Oh, is it locked up again?
It's locked up on me.
Obviously.
There we go.
But it's got Paul Sequeira. It's got Sankiewicz. Is how you say his last name?
Sienkiewicz?
Kevin.
Sienkiewicz.
Yeah, that guy. And
Oop, there it was. Up.
and Michelini's back on it. So and that's the Paul Sequeira one.
Yeah, the Sienkiewicz covers.
Yeah,
Wow.
Ooh.
and then
Bottom right, McClay. Oh.
Wow.
that
Yeah,
was-
that's interesting.
I'm thinking that's probably the 1 in 25. I don't know which one the 1 in 25 is.
He's got another cover out tomorrow too. I forget for what book.
Here's the Kirkham. Kirkham
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
look
probably
too
unknown
bad.
comics thing or whatever. Sure, that's not a it's a
Exclusive.
somewhere.
retailer.
Nakayama.
That one. Sorry, that one's the 1 in 25. That one right there.
The Nakayama.
Nakayama.
Nakayama one, yeah.
I like that.
I like that too.
But yeah, I'm stoked. I'm hoping that it's a story, and that it's going to be, it's supposed to be, back before everything happened and whatnot. Kind of same, taken from the same time frame as Riddle Luther Protector with Michelini writing, and hoping to make some like a good graphic box for this too as well, because I wouldn't mind. I need some more boxes, and I would love to get a couple boxes from this as well. So, but I'm stoked to because the current Venom run is, and so I'm hoping that this will be like really like quench the thirst for a good story. That's fun.
Yeah, it looks interesting. There's a Perillo.
I do like that.
Oh, it's badass, man. That's cool. I like that.
I like the chickens.
Is it a
Chickens is awesome, man. I didn't see it till just now. Awesome. So yeah, I'm stoked on that.
There you have it.
I don't know what that means.
Some of the old.
You're right. I can't search the web for.
Oh, what the hell
I didn't
is this
see it till
about?
just now. That's awesome. So yeah, I'm certain.
I don't know what the hell it was about. The friggin' something else came. I don't know what the hell that was, but I like they're using all the older styled art and whatnot.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Well, I think it's interesting that they're going back to that time period to tell stories again. Why'd you just go through all the stuff that we did?
Well, I think it's cool to get like some of the classic guys that wrote the stories, and because it's like back then, it was the character was someone new and they were kind of messing around with it. So now you got all this background that's been put in place for the character, and now they can kind of write with that in mind. So that's pretty cool.
Getting asked a question, Ryan.
What's the first appearance of Venom? I mean the first. I mean, it's in a magazine.
Oh,
There's a bunch of them, right?
Yeah, there's the magazines. It's like
Web of Spider-Man 18 or something like that has his hand in it.
They push in. There's like someone's pushing.
Oh, that's like the Jessica Cruz shit there.
Yeah. And then 23 of Web of Spider-Man or something like that. He's in it for a second. There's a shadow.
Not to mention issue 2 of Previews 1984.
Yeah, the previews thing. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff like that. Comics.
Is that what? Is that
Comic Scene magazine?
Double O is that? Is
Yeah, Web of 18. Yeah.
What Michelin is? Yeah, because that's one where there's
He gets pushed in front of the train.
Yeah, train. And it's never been said whether it's Eddie Brock or not, but it's pretty much. But it's because it was written before
For a female. Venom was supposed to be female.
Yeah,
So that's why it looks like a female hand.
Mm-hmm.
I love stuff like that.
It was written before the 300 and all that jazz happened. So it's interesting. Yeah, because I wish they would kind of put a cap to that and tell us exactly what that is supposed to be, but it's still, I guess, leaves it to the reader's imagination.
Yeah.
I've always wondered that when we talk about Venom, why do we talk about McFarlane and not Michelini?
Right?
No, because everyone claims that McFarlane is a creator, and that's not the case. And he was part of he helped design the character, but Michelini was like, yeah. And in fact, there was some back and forth between them. Michelini saying that that he kind of put the stake in the ground on it, but then there was actually I think some falling out of some feelings on that subject.
Wouldn't be surprised.
That's going to wrap up our new comic book day picks. Let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. People post what they're picking up there. But while people are doing that, Beardo, that's just going to leave us with one more thing. The Amazing with Brian McClay. What do you got for us?
I'll repeat the question Double O.
Tomorrow night, We have, and then I'm gonna come in with a new little thing here. So that is the new card show, or the card show tomorrow night. I'm sorry, I got an echo in my ears. It's weird. We are going to be doing mystery packs tomorrow night on the show through Whatnot, all OBS, all stream. So lots of fun stuff.
Nice.
Check it out.
What are you? So they follow you on YouTube for that, or they follow you on Whatnot for that?
So they can follow me on Whatnot for that. But I will also be doing it on YouTube. Basically, the way it works
You can watch
is,
it on YouTube, but if you want to buy,
you follow it on Whatnot. So I'll have the link in the descriptions, all that fun stuff. Basically, what the plan is we're going to have our regular show tomorrow night, and if we can get at least 20 live viewers in the Whatnot sale, I'll put the packs up for sale. They will probably, if I get 30 or more viewers, I'll start them at $1. But basically, every pack has at least $40 of value in every pack, at least, with upwards of 300.
nice.
And then on top of that, there's 4 special little stickers in there, and each sticker has a prize written on it. And basically, what I did is I had my brother, without me being in the room, put the stickers in random packs. And basically, what you're able to get, one of them will be for an unopened 1989 Fleer baseball pack, so you can have a chance at trying to get a Randy Johnson, Ken Griffey Jr. rookies, or the Billy Ripken F-face card, which is also, the actual card is in the packs, the mystery packs. Another winner will have a chance at an unopened 1984 Fleer cello pack. This has the Don Mattingly rookie and the Darryl Strawberry rookie in that year. And then another winner will have a chance at a Fernando Tatis winter baseball rookie.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Too bad he's hurt.
Yeah. And then the big win of the whole thing is this Cabrian Hayes numbered 1 of 100 autographed case hit. This is a $300 card right now. This is the best rookie in baseball, in my opinion, last year. So, and then on top of all that,
on top of that,
yeah, anybody who buys a pack after I open their pack, I will run a wheel, and you'll have a 10% chance on that wheel to win an unopened pack of 2022 Topps Baseball Jumbo. Not just a regular pack, a jumbo pack. And I think these are going for like $30 a pack right now. So, yeah.
Wow.
So you'll have chances at big money, and then lots of fun. Every mystery pack is numbered, and then I'll just let people pick their numbers and mark off the numbers. And then I will basically, in every mystery pack, there's 8 to 15 cards, I think. And then I'm going to add cards on top of it while people are while the auction is going on. So if there's people in the auction that are, Mets fans, I'll start throwing Mets rookies on top. Or if there's, Ken Griffey Jr. fans, I'll start throwing cool Ken Griffey Jr. cards on top. And then it's nothing but Hall of Famer rookies from 1974 to current, and then current studs, like, you name it. And there's a Wander Franco rookie in here from 2022 Topps. There's a Wander Franco first Bowman Chrome in here. There's a Jason Dominguez Mojo Chrome in here. There's a Ronald Acuna Jr. Topps rookie, Juan Soto Topps rookie, every Barry Bonds rookie from every manufacturer, Winfield rookies, Jose Canseco rookies, like everything that when we were collecting as kids in the 80s and 90s are in these packs, all the fun cards. So very few duplicates. The only duplicates, I think, there's like 2 86 Topps traded Barry Bonds rookies and 2 Shohei Ohtani rookies in here. So lots of fun stuff. That's tomorrow night. I think we're going to start around 9:30 Eastern.
Very cool.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Rhino, what do you got for us?
Well, not a whole lot. Still looking to. I'm trying to get this pressing down. I bought a press, and I've been slowly found out that, like, for whatever reason, the top of the press was wrapped with some vinyl. I don't know if any of y'all have ever heard that, but I had to go there and remove that vinyl. Remove that vinyl, and slowly we've been working on trying to get this thing right. So anyone that wants to send me some tips on just a short blurb on what their process is like, just Teflon paper, or is it like the other paper that they use,
Yeah.
Silicone
Teflon.
release paper.
whatever. Yeah. So
Yeah, don't
Yeah,
use
there's
Teflon.
that it's an art, and I really want to get it down to not just press. I want to be like something I kind of perfect. So I'm looking for some good. I know it's going to take a while, and I'm down for the journey, but I just want to get some of the notes that folks might have had that they can, so I don't have to go through and have a shortfall on it, and have to like go through the long strenuous thing of something that strenuous thing of trial and error that people have already kind of can help cut to that long journey a little bit if they can.
Well, I just put a link in the private chat for Captain Mike with a
Yes.
K, MYKE, Captain
Yes.
Mike, and it's an incredible resource and has like almost everything you need to know. And I think one of the big ones I didn't get initially that I realized I should have had was the calipers. To measure exactly the width of the book and then match it with the press so you don't overpress or
That was a big
underpress.
question of mine, for sure.
Yeah. But that website is an incredible resource.
And
Man.
rotors.
So I'm on that. Thank you so much for sending that to me. And real quickly too, if anyone's playing GT7, let me know, because I like the race shell.
Yeah, you hit me up. I said I'm playing Destiny.
Yeah, I know.
You guys
All
got
my
time?
kids are playing. I forget what my kids playing Guardians, and
Guardians is great,
My
huh?
kids also playing God of War now.
Nice.
And thanks, Brian, for I tapped you on McClay for I tapped you on the shoulder on some cards and whatnot. I got some cards too that I picked up on some of these packs, but I really kind of want to get into it. But there's so much out there. It's like I'm lost at where to go, where to start. So I'm gonna be tuning into your show to see kind of maybe you could kind of point the way.
Hell yeah, man! I'm down for that.
Mario
And
Kart,
Cantankerous, if you do end up winning a pack, I'll throw in a 4th series pack of Garbage Pail Kids for you.
Double O, my kids just
1986.
downloaded the expansion or whatever it is for Mario Kart, and they were excited about that. Tony,
Big thing. There's not a lot going on. I don't know. I don't really have anything I need to promote right now. I'm going to take a week off for whatnot. I need a weekend without sitting at my kitchen table packing up boxes for 7 hours straight. Relax a little bit. I guess my big thing that I've been kind of planning in my head is more of a personal thing. We mentioned it before we went on, but my kids are 7 and 10, and I think it's time that we have a little Disney vacation. We've never done that before, and we might not ever do it again. So I'm looking at some of these big books next to me, and I might be parting ways with some of these puppies.
Whoa. Hey.
To buy some rides on the teacup or whatever the hell that is.
yeah, if you need Disney,
What was that sound? I just heard something go boing.
Tony, buddy.
if you need Disney planning advice, I got you covered. I'm going back in November.
Yeah, that's
Cool. Well,
Wait, are y'all talking about
Yeah,
California or Florida?
I go to Orlando.
Florida.
Yeah.
I sold my my last Ronin, one of my CGC 10s yesterday. It was really hard, but it's got to go. Got to go.
Heck yeah.
Seven's the
Memories,
the
man.
beginning of the age of because they'll remember it.
Exactly.
Yeah. If they don't
I'm not
remember.
spending money on family stuff for my
Mickey
kids
ice cream bars.
if they're never going to remember it.
What do you got for us, Dink Show?
Not much. It's just something I noticed. I was at a St. Patrick's Day parade, and
Nuh-uh.
yeah, and there was a bunch of Chinese ladies getting people to sign these flyers for to be against the evil Chinese communist government, right? And a lot of people were signing it because they didn't know what it was. They're like, oh, okay, and they signed it, and I was like, oh, you guys know that's a cult, right? So that's the Falun Dafa cult, and then they actually bought like a section of the parade. So then you saw the Falun Dafa people come out. The Falun Dafa cult, they do the Shen Yun show. You know that Shen Yun show they promote every year, the Chinese history, whatever. That's from a cult. That is not the Chinese government. They are also the publishers of Epoch Times. So they actually promote QAnon and anti-vax theories. It's the same group. These are the same people, folks. Shen Yun is the QAnon supporters, and they're infiltrating. They're part of a propaganda wing of the Shen Yun.
Is that associated with Falun Gong?
Yeah, Falun Gong.
Okay.
And they're, yeah, but Epoch Times that Trump reads is actually Falun Gong.
Really?
And Shen Yun is Falun Gong. And this is not even, this is so easy to look up online. Like, this is not like a conspiracy. It's real. This is really happening. But yeah, and I don't like how they're sort of not really open about what they're doing. It's very shady. And we don't know it. Because everyone thinks they're just kind of harmless cultural thing. But it's actually this cult. And the guy believes he can float and levitate through walls. And he thinks David Copperfield went through the Great Wall of China and aliens and they're an interesting group. And the reason the Epoch Times originally, it was a paper against the Chinese government because the Chinese government persecutes them.
Yeah.
But then they realize if they become Trump, if they're a Trump paper with QAnon and anti-vax stuff, then maybe they'll get more attention. But it got way bigger than they expected, and now it's like a major source of news for a lot of people, but they don't know it's actually the Falun Gong cult. So this little something I noticed at St. Patrick's Day, and I was
interesting,
pretty disturbed.
Scary.
Oh, Beardo.
Ooh, yeah. My one more thing this week is coming up in just a second here, because last night we had a long format show that went on a little longer than I planned, but we did a show over on the Comic Man Indie YouTube channel last night live for over an hour and a half. We talked about shipping comic books, and we actually need some opinions from the comic book community to watch this video and comment on how they feel. I had 3 books pre-ordered from a company. They shipped them finally. Those 3 books, they charged me almost $20 to ship 3 books in a flimsy cardboard mailer. When I backtrack it, when I reverse engineered what the shipping would cost for me to ship that exact same package from my house back to their warehouse and to a different state, I tried that out, it was like $7 or $8. And I feel like because this company, if you guys watch the video, we talk about the company, you're not offered an opportunity to dispute shipping charges on pre-orders. And when you select your pre-order options, there's no identification of what you're going to get charged for shipping. It's random. There's no notification of what you're going to get charged.
6 months after release.
I got these within a couple of weeks after release. Actually, it was a Darth Vader 22nd print variant. So when that released, I think it was about 3 weeks ago or something.
I was being facetious, but they are not like expedient shipping, not for $7.
No, they're definitely not expedient, and it's in the comic book community that people have had issues. Plenty of people in the comic book community have had issues with how they package ship books. But now I think if I'm getting charged more than $10 more than what it would cost me to ship it, and they don't pay what we pay, they definitely ship in bulk, so they're getting better rates. And if they're shipping books in 80-cent mailers, where's that additional $10 to $12 charge coming from? This feels predatory. I feel a little upset because how many new people are coming into the community that are getting charged these additional charges, and they have no idea. How many hundreds of dollars have they lost building their collections from the very get-go, from the very start? And they're not being afforded an opportunity to either line item detailed why there's additional charges. Like, granted, some of you guys are going to say fuel prices are up. But if fuel prices are up, why didn't I get quoted $18 to ship that same package on the same day? Watch it live. Watch it on the replay there where we went live into the third-party pirate ship hub and actually pull that information up and show that package is going to be $7, $8 to ship. I think it was $8.08. Now, granted, I didn't want to show my exact shipping address, but this is something that the community needs to band together and talk more about. Because why are we paying $18 to ship one flimsy cardboard envelope with 3 comic books? That's double, if not 2.5 times more than priority shipping for a priority Gemini mailer with 1 or 2 books. Priority Gemini mailers through the USPS with up to 2 books at that weight. You're paying like $8, $9, $10. You're not paying $20.
Yeah,
this is nuts.
I'm gonna watch your show, Andy, because I know who you're talking about. I order from them all the time. I'm looking up my last 2 shipping things, and I don't know, maybe that one was kind of fluky. I got 15 books for $9 and 24 books for $11 on mine.
Wow!
And where did this come from? This came from
TFAW.
Yeah, TFAW.
This came from TFA. Really?
That right there in the video, that's the envelope that they shipped them in with no cardboard supports. The books were loosely packed in there and the invoice thrown in. That's how they shipped. That was it. And they charged me $18.02 exactly to ship that envelope from there to my house. And it's not going from East Coast all the way over to West Coast.
I want to call them live.
This feels like it needs to be dug deeper into, because how many other people are getting charged additional fees like that? The trick is like, I don't mind paying extra for shipping if I'm getting rewarded with information that provides value on why I'm being charged more for shipping. But when you request me to select a shipping category of either cheapest UPS or cheapest FedEx, that's how they label it, cheapest, or UPS with insurance, but they don't provide you any shipping quote information. No monetary value. Here's the problem. Comic books all generally have about the same size and same weight. You get into magazines, you get into different aspects, but when you professionally ship and sell comic books on a large website, you should be able to have the ability to provide shipping quotes. Everybody here watching this live and on the replay, raise your hand if you've ever gone online and got an item in your cart, and when you go to check out, they give you a godforsaken exact shipping quote for that item. It's not beyond their means. It's not beyond their means. And I am incredibly upset because I don't care about...
Did you call them? Did you talk to them about that one?
I haven't even got into that yet. This was just last night that I didn't even realize how much extra I was charged until 5 minutes before the show when I started digging in.
You should, because I got another smaller one that came in that same kind of little box. I paid like $5.50 for shipping for it. So I bet they'd get you a refund.
I mean, sure. At this point, though, how many other people out there that aren't aware, that aren't paying attention to that receipt, they just chuck it right away? 90% of us, when we get comic books in, we rip the comic books out and throw everything else out. We didn't even look at the receipt half the time. So that means that when you're pre-ordering books from this website and they're not offering any sort of a quote and you just pick an option, there's no alert, there's no warning, there's no forward information to tell you what you're being charged shipping until you get that invoice in the package when you receive it.
I stopped using them over a year ago because of this issue, and then that flimsy mailer thing. I was offended.
Midtown used to do that too.
Well, not anymore. Midtown is much better now.
Yeah. Well, that's because they're charging more for books.
Well, I mean, I get it. Like I haven't been happy with that website either in the past, but once in a blue moon, I circle back around and be like, let's give this company an opportunity again to win me over with customer service, and here we go.
They do the opposite.
Sounds like you could use a Snicker bar, Andy.
Good for sake and Lord, I could. Yes, please.
I'm kidding. You make a valid point, but then I get it. Make sure you guys check out the video on his channel. An hour and a half, I'm sure, was a feisty conversation. If what you just preluded to.
Based on the YouTube algorithm and whatnot, when you start going on a live stream that goes for an hour and a half, you get waves. You get a first wave of 20, 30 people watching. Then you kind of get a second wave of people. So we hit the same topic about 3 times over, which is why it's an hour and a half. I can clip it down to half an hour segment and repost it or less.
Yeah.
This is our longest show, isn't it?
Yes.
Shoot.
My one more thing. First of all, the person that's not here tonight, Andy Tomberlin. I want to say congrats to him. He just got married this past weekend. He's currently on his honeymoon, but we had the wedding party. We told you he's been in Southern Charm, filming Southern Charm. They were at his wedding. This is one of the pictures from the wedding right here.
The whole crew
Make
showed
sure-
up. That's amazing.
Make sure you guys check him out on Southern Charm.
Wow,
I think
that's
that might be
great.
his brother next to him. I'm not sure, but yeah. Andy's over there on the far right. But yeah, congrats to him.
They're about to crush the crutch.
The only thing else I wanted to say is World Cup qualifier in soccer is kicking back up this week. U.S. takes on Mexico Thursday. It's down to the last 3 qualifiers to see whether U.S. qualifies for World Cup this time. But either way, yeah, I'm excited to see that. And Premier League, Champions League, and I was excited to see Real Madrid get their ass whooped. But either way, probably talking a bunch of nonsense no one gives a shit about. That's our show for the night. We had a full house, great conversation. Again, let us know in the comments what books you guys are picking up. What do you guys think about James Gunn? What do you think about the Penguin House books? What do you think about the auction? Do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? Do you think, shill bidding? Either way, let us know in the comments. And again, you can listen to an audio version on that podcast, Simple Man's Comics, wherever your podcasts are found. Thanks again for everyone that's showing up here. Thanks again for everyone in the chat. Thanks again for the super chat, Cantankerous. I might even have some Garbage Pail Kid cards, and I'll get some your way if you need to. But that's our show. Thank you so much, and we will see you in the next video.
Look. They talking like they don't know a king when they see one. See him in person, he take it back like a refund. Ballin' with my brothers on my playing D1. Daily checking chicken, he gon' spin it watching reruns. Say they real, but they clones of me.